Have you heard one of these two questions in your relationship? The first one is, why are you with me? And why are you with someone like me? Or why are you still with me? How did you respond to that? Oftentimes, when we're dealing with someone that has borderline personality tendencies, they can ask these types of questions, and we don't know exactly how to respond. And when we do respond, we hope that it'll end this line of questioning, but it usually doesn't. If you want to understand the reasoning behind these questions and the actual response needed, you'll want to watch this video. Hi friends, glad to be back today. And the reason why I wanted to create this video specifically is because I hear this countless times on a daily basis when working with my clients. And they ask me, what do I do? She or he keeps asking me why I'm with her or why I'm with him. What am I supposed to say? I say the same thing over and over again. I love you, I care for you, I'm here for you, but it doesn't seem to work. They keep asking these same questions and getting angry or fearful or even angry at me, but I don't know why. And so I think that this video is very important for us to understand why these questions are being asked and why it is that your response out of love and care doesn't seem to change things. It doesn't seem to get them to realize why you're in a relationship with them. In order to understand this clearly, we have to understand why the questions are being asked in the first place. The questions that are being asked by the person that has signs and symptoms of borderline personality is asking you these questions based on their own insecurities and their own fears, their own internal fears within themselves. Okay? So really think about that. Let that kind of marinate in, because it's not based on what you're doing. It's not based on what you're saying. It has nothing to do with that at all. It actually has to do with what they're thinking. So think about that. If somebody's asking you, what are you doing with me? Why are you in a relationship with me? You can say all the greatest things in the world and believe it, but it's not going to impact them because they still don't understand why you're in the relationship with them. Let's take it a step further. Nothing you can say or do will actually change their feelings of insecurities. Do you hear me? Are you listening to me right now? Because I know you can sit there and say, I really care about you, I love you, I'm here for you, and you can reinforce and build them up and tell them how great they are. But isn't it interesting how the very next day the fears are right back there again? The thing is that we can only gain our own security and value from within, right? And so we can't gain it from someone telling us how great we are if we actually don't believe that we're that great. Now I want you to think about this. When these questions are posed to you and you respond back with the I love you, I care about you, that sort of thing, more often than not, the person that's dealing with signs and symptoms of BPD doesn't even hear you. So the voices in their mind, the thoughts that they're having are so loud and usually so negative, they can't even hear what you're saying. So honestly, you're just talking and they're not processing. And so I need you to kind of start thinking about this. Step back from the tendency of trying to build someone up and tell them how great they are in your eyes. What about instead you started asking them questions? Why did you just ask me why I'm with you? I don't understand. Can you tell me more about what you're feeling right now? Or possibly even bring up the fact of, you know I love you and care about you, but where is this fear coming from? Where is this underlying fear coming from? Can you talk with me and tell me where this is coming from? And we have to do it in a very positive, calm manner, because remember, a lot of times people are not self-aware of what's being set up here. They're actually taking the thoughts that are here and placing it on the relationship. They're taking the negative thoughts here and placing it in your mouth, thinking you actually said it when you didn't say it. You can even say the nicest things in the world, and if the person is believing that you don't love them, or that there's no way that you can love them, they can't hear what you're actually saying. And so that's a big deal that I'm talking about here. You see, it's like almost two ships passing in the night, right? You're over there trying to affirm them when they don't even hear the affirmation. Ultimately, what happens is you can say how much you care, you can say how much you love, but they're not going to believe you or even accept that reality. Hence why the question keeps being posed over and over again. And that's an interesting concept. A lot of people say, oh, Ashley, you know, through all the work that I've done with clients, they'll say they keep asking me why I'm with them. They keep asking me why I'm in this relationship, or why I would be stuck in a relationship with them, or why could I handle a relationship with them. And it can be exhausting because you keep building them up, but it doesn't seem to make any sort of dent in the actual question. I also find too that when people feel this way about themselves, they ultimately feel that everybody else feels this way about them too. So until they build up their self-esteem, they usually feel that everybody else feels the same way about them as the way they feel, which is very negative and low about themselves and their self-worth. And the last point that I want to bring up in today's video is the concept that their inner dialogue is so loud and usually filled with a lot of self-loathing. And so it's really interesting that we can't overtalk their own inner dialogue. The one thing that we can bring up here is to ask them to examine perhaps some of their inner dialogue. And there might be some argument to this, and there might be some argument that that's not existing, but bringing up that, questioning that in a positive way, saying, I care about you, I love you, it's not about this, but I feel like you're having an internal fight that I can't change. And I can't help win because I can't get into your own mind to change those thoughts. And if you can get your significant other to begin to analyze what those thoughts are and be able to express them to some degree, maybe we can start having an honest dialogue where they realize that it's not about you seeing their value, it's actually about them beginning to realize that they don't see their own value to understand why you would be with them in a relationship. One last thing I want to add before the end of this video real quick is that remember, again, this can be the perfect storm when you're dealing with someone with BPD tendencies and someone with codependent tendencies. Remember, the codependent tendencies, that person wants to make everything okay, show that other person how much they care, being there for them. But remember, we can't do everything for them, right? They have to show up and see their value at some point, or at least if they don't see their value, at least realize the negative internal dialogue that's getting in the way, right, between you and them. Because that's really what it is that dialogue's creating a wedge, making them believe that they shouldn't be in this relationship, they're not worthy, and then wondering why you're in the relationship with them. And by them wondering that, they're discrediting the fact that you're in the relationship and wondering what's wrong with you. Okay, there must be something wrong with you for you to be in the relationship with them. So you see again how this creates a perfect storm. If you like this type of content and it's helpful for you, please give us a like here on this video. It helps us to understand what more you want to see and what content you want to see. If you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel because that really helps us grow the community here on our YouTube channel. Also, if you haven't already, you can join here as a member and get exclusive content. Or you can also join on my new membership site on my website. Just go to ashleyburgess.com and you can click on that top banner and you can join for free and watch video content and connect with new video content as well as some events that will be coming up here that you will actually have notification to. In the comment section, let me know, have you been asked these questions before? How did you respond? Did it change anything? I think when you've gone through relationships, certain relationships, you will have been asked this question multiple times. And sometimes it can feel as though nothing you're saying is getting through. Don't forget to live your true life.